Fire Emblem games are typically all about picking your favourite characters and training them up to become beloved powerhouse soldiers. But what if you couldn't choose which units you were going to use? Or rather, you had to choose between different units that might not be available later if you don't pick them now. This, as you might have guessed, is the principle behind a draft race, a competition where several players take turns picking different characters from the playable cast to enlist in their army, before racing through the game to see who can finish first. I was invited to compete in a beginner draft race for Fire Emblem 8 The Sacred Stones, hosted by some of the most experienced Fire Emblem veterans around. The format is simple. Beginners are split into groups of 4, and paired up with veteran racers taking on the role of coaches. Each beginner is allowed 2 practice runs, one supervised by their coach, and one on their own. The aim being to ensure that every racer has a little bit of preparation and experience under their belt, but the level of competition remains equal. Given my inexperience, relying on the wisdom of my coach was going to be crucial. And thankfully, I was in safe hands, as my coach for this race was none other than Mekkah. If you're familiar with Fire Emblem draft racing or Fire Emblem content on YouTube at all, then Mekkah likely needs no introduction. But for the uninitiated, Mekkah is one of the most long-standing Fire Emblem content creators on the platform, with more than a handful of draft races under his belt. Before we go into how the practice went, let's contextualize the draft with 3 major considerations, the first of which being the route split. In Fire Emblem 8, you follow Eirika for the first 8 chapters of the game, after which the player is faced with a choice, to accompany either Eirika or Ephraim on their respective journeys. This decision has massive ramifications for the rest of the game, but particularly chapters 9 to 14. You'll be tackling completely different maps, different enemies, and while the playable characters you recruit are the same, they'll appear earlier or later with different stats and items. Needless to say, this has a huge impact on draft strategy. Not only do you have to think about which units are best suited to beating the game, but also consider which units are stronger on one route over the other, and which units other races will prioritize based on which route they intend to take. That leads us nicely into the second point, which characters to draft. The race has 4 participants, myself included, and of the 34 playable characters in Sacred Stones, 5 of them are completely free to use throughout the race. These are Eirika, Ephraim, Tethys, Orson, and Myr. One extra unit, Cyrene, is also free to use from chapter 20 onwards, the reason being that tackling the end of the game with no flying unit at all puts someone at a significant disadvantage. But draft strategy is dominated by 3 characters in particular: Vanessa, Tana, and Cormag. Every racer will be looking to draft a main carry as their first pick, a unit that can single-handedly take on the most difficult battles in the game. Of the choices available, these 3 are the best of the best, though Seth and Franz are the other options likely to be considered in the first round. Vanessa, Tana, and Cormag are flying characters with unparalleled mobility, who can effectively solo the game faster than anyone else if they're funneled enough experience and stat boosters. While this gives them a significant advantage, it doesn't make the draft as simple as you might think. Vanessa and Tana are straightforward enough, but Cormag's viability is contingent on taking Ephraim's route, where he appears 3 chapters earlier with much better prospects. And while Ephraim route is just as fast as Eirika route in theory, it poses considerably more risk, with harder maps, stronger bosses, and much more room for error for an unprepared racer. And that's not all. Our third consideration is the draft format. Positions in the draft will be randomly assigned, and picks will be ordered snake style, meaning that the last player to pick their first unit becomes the first player to pick their second. Therefore, even if a player gets first pick and locks in a strong unit like Vanessa, they won't be able to pick another character until 6 have been taken off the board. With strong characters like Seth, Franz, Dusel, Saleh, and Garrick all high in demand, a later draft position allows players to pick more synergistic pairs of units. As far as draft priorities go, most players will be looking to draft characters with 3 things in mind: a strong main carry, such as Seth or the aforementioned Flyers, a secondary carry, usually someone who can be trained separately from their main carry or as strong as soon as they appear, or a utility unit, thieves like Coleman Renak, or characters with niche combat applications. And keep in mind, when I say niche, I really do mean niche. After about the 3rd or 4th pick, most players will have assembled the team they intend to use, meaning drafts beyond that point often come down to mascots, personal favourites, or units that can contribute a single thing during the run, like drafting Naomi to shoot a cracked wall in chapter 3, or drafting Amelia to avoid taking a penalty if she gets attacked after she's recruited. No, really, this is the level of value we're looking for from these sorts of picks. Mekkah and I agreed that it made the most sense to spend one practice run on each route, with Mekkah supervising the Ephraim route practice given the considerable room for error. And as for the team, I decided on this. Cormag is the go-to flyer for Ephraim route, while Dusel is a powerful pre-promoted cavalry unit with great bases and weapon ranks. You recruit him in chapter 10 on Ephraim route, but chapter 15 on Eirika route, meaning just like Cormag, his priority increases massively for anyone planning to follow Ephraim. The last relevant unit in the draft is Ross. While it's possible to use Eirika for the entire early game, following Ephraim means that there's a major incentive for training a unit that can be used during the Ephraim exclusive chapters, as Eirika doesn't return until chapter 15. The best candidates here are Franz, Ross, Garcia, and Gilliam, and I decided on Ross as he felt like the best choice among the characters that would realistically still be available to draft. So all that was left was to start the first practice. It's alright, I've already drafted Forde, so I know my fate.
Alright, are you ready?
Yeah, think so.
Okay, start the countdown at 10, 9, 8. No, but it's private. I won't tell anyone that you were bad at your first race ever. 4,
oh, okay. Yeah, that's
3,
good. I appreciate
2, 1, go.
Right from the get-go, there were plenty of little optimizations to keep in mind throughout the run. Things like using the L button to switch between units, minimizing unnecessary unit movement, and making effective use of Seth, who remains free for everyone to use until the start of Chapter 5. Even though I intended to go Ephraim route, it's important to give Eirika as many levels as possible, as she'll be an important combat unit for Chapters 5 and 6. In Chapter 2, I'm able to recruit Ross, who will be my other big priority in this first leg of the practice. As he's a trainee, he'll be earning more level ups than any other unit in the run, but it's important to give him as much experience as I can without drastically slowing down my gameplay. But this is sometimes easier said than done.
I know you haven't drafted, but I don't think Mulder should be tanking in this chapter.
No, this is to say that we've already started resorting to some unconventional strategies would be an understatement.
It's kind of what Ross requires, to be fair. I'm not even sure if he gets Oko there, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, nice. Okay.
Oh, wait, the archer.
XP,
No,
I
he's
guess.
still dead.
No, he's still dead, yeah.
Okay, well... Chapter 3 is another prime opportunity to feed experience to Ross and Eirika, attacking over walls with the hatchet or fighting axe-wielding brigands with my lord.
You don't need to do that. There's no point. Like, what are you trying to gain from doing this?
Basically just a quicker solve. No, you're right. You're entirely correct.
Alright, you see what Colm was doing? Make him stop.
True. Come back here.
You should be out on the field as a green unit for the minimum amount of time.
Yeah, because otherwise you get the whole extra phase and it's just long.
And he runs around, fights enemies, eats your food, poisons your crops.
The best chapter by far is Chapter 4. The entire map is full of weak monster enemies, making this a crucial map for any draft with an early carry like Vanessa, Franz, or Ross. I rout the enemy, after which Eirika is level 7 and Ross is ready to promote into Pirate. I then catch up on some shopping that I ought to have done after Chapter 2. Throughout the run, I'll be making liberal use of javelins and hand axes, as these weapons can attack both up close and from range. Believe it or not, there's also optimization in knowing how many javelins you'll need for a map, discarding them when they're low on uses in favour of new javelins, and so on. Chapter 5 is significant because Seth is now relegated to the bench unless we draft him. Ross deals with the enemies on the left, while Eirika takes care of the right, and Natasha tags along to ensure I can recruit Joshua without him cutting down my units. Thankfully, by this point, Ross is strong enough to take out almost any enemy he comes across, and Eirika can more than hold her own against axe fighters. Chapter 5X, on the other hand, is a little unique. We only get 4 units to play with, but one of them is Orson, who's not only free, but can single-handedly steamroll the chapter on his own. While I drafted Forde, he's only really here to tag along, annoy my coach, and potentially help my turn economy if the opportunity ever arises.
Or someone rounds. Ephraim doesn't. QED.
Wait, Forde moment.
Dude, I love not killing enemies.
My other big priority here is training Ephraim. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Ephraim is one of the better combat units available if you intend to follow his route, so taking the chance to give him some experience here can pay off in the long run. Though I still have some learning to do as far as how I tackled this map.
No, that's another room I would feed Ephraim.
Yeah, I kind of did it and I was like, wait. I've probably not fed Ephraim quite as much as I should have, but at least he did get very good level ups.
He doesn't need a whole lot of feeding, but generally, and I hate to phrase it this way because it sounds so mean, but the enemies that Orson killed in this chapter, I would feed to Ephraim and vice versa. That's roughly how I would do it.
No, that's so valid, actually. As for Chapter 6, while most casual players probably rush through the center to rescue the villagers, we're actually better off going along the top, using Eirika's rapier to deal with the cavaliers, while Ross deals with everything else. Though once again, I learned a valuable lesson not to be so overzealous with my combat units.
Is there an item that we could have brought that would make this less spicy?
Cure water!
Yes. I was very happy to see you make a very fast prep segment, but also I was a little worried that you might die.
Yeah, I suppose with a less cracked out Ross than... Oh, never mind.
What could have prevented this, besides the pure water? What could you have done?
The elixir, which
yes,
in hindsight definitely should have done. Okay, well, Chapter 7 also has an unconventional strategy with this team. Rather than follow the winding road, I can cut across the river and skip most of the map, and thankfully the boss is a pushover for a trained Eirika. Chapter 8 is the last map of what I would consider the first leg, but there's plenty to do here. There's an angelic robe to be found in this chest at the top on the way to the boss, while Ephraim can do some extra training against enemies in the bottom left. And while this would be the place to grab an Elysian whip for my flyer if I were using Tana or Vanessa, Cormac comes with one in his inventory, so I can happily ignore the chests to the left. That brings us to the route split, and now we can talk about what truly makes Ephraim routes so high risk. The first reason being status staves.
There's a sleep priest in that left corridor, or in that corridor on the thing here. But there's gaps in his ranges, and they are to the left of the archers you see there, because you can't stand on the archer's tile. You see those, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Never move outside of those gaps, even if it costs you extra turns.
While these aren't exclusive to Ephraim route, Eirika faces maybe 2 of these throughout her whole campaign, and both are easy to avoid. Meanwhile, Ephraim faces 2 of these on the first map, and both can be debilitating if you're caught out by them. Oh, you're lying! Okay, don't. I hate this game.
Before you commit to that, you want to make sure that Cavalier is going to die. I guess you're going to originally leave him if he's
that was
not
sort
full
of the
health.
plan.
Or honestly, just steal that. Yeah, whatever. Just do something. Doesn't matter.
If I miss 89 twice on 2RN, I'll quit the run right there.
We're going Eirika route. I don't need to say anything. Like this tells the whole story, I think.
Yeah.
So you can bring Amelia up to that guy to bait him, or Forde. You know, he can bait that sleep as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more value in the Forde draft as time goes on.
Well, it really just like unit draft, but yeah.
If a unit gets put to sleep, they can't do anything for several turns. As I'm sure you can imagine, that's a big issue in a race format where I'm using 2 to 3 units. I managed to stumble into range of both sleep staff enemies in this chapter. But hey, that's what practice is for. Other than that, we get the Ocean Seal for Ross to promote him into Berserker. And we get the Axe Reaver for Ephraim, which will be crucial for a handful of bosses we'll encounter on this route.
You don't need to bring Ross, to be honest. Like, you just don't need to.
Why not?
Nah. I
Really?
mean, there's things you can do with Ross in this chapter. I wouldn't recommend them for a first time race. And
I see.
What I would do in this chapter is disarm Ephraim, put him in a corner.
Oh, wait, I've blundered. I didn't promote my unit at level 20. I've missed out on so many stats, Mekkah. In contrast to Chapter 9, Chapter 10 is pretty free. Most notably, this is where we recruit Cormac, but the chapter objective is to protect Dusel and survive. As Dusel is under no risk whatsoever, we can use this chapter to recruit Cormac, get him as much experience as possible, and ensure that Ephraim isn't at risk of dying by unequipping his weapons. Then we just end turn. Ironically, ending the turn is the solution to lots of problems in a draft race. Thinking is slow, moving units is slow, so if ending the turn is a viable solution, it's often the best one. Chapter 11, the Ghost Ship, is usually a pain point in a casual playthrough, but with Cormac, Ross, and Dusel, the enemies are pretty easy for me to roll through. Okay, I'll admit my strategy for this map is completely non-existent.
Okay, fair enough. Hello there. Got him. Worked so far.
Yeah.
Generally, probably maybe a more exposed tile would be better, because now if you miss like an enemy that attacks you from one range, nothing else can attack you. And like these are the kills you definitely want on Cormac before he promotes, because like look at how much XP he's gonna get from just being here.
Let's just hoover it all up.
Good shit, Cormac.
This could have been so much experience for Forde. We had the Night Crest for him and everything.
We had the Night Crest. We sold it for more valuable things than Forde. Oh wow, that worked out nicely. Well, now you can just remember you can do this, and the archer just goes away. I'm gonna steal that.
I'm glad you're gonna steal it, because I've already forgotten what what we did to set that up. Ephraim, Cormac, and Dusel deal with the ship full of monsters and nearby gargoyles, while Ross hangs back to deal with the boss as soon as possible. Nice and easy. Chapter 12, on the other hand, can be a little tricky. It's a big map with lots of enemies, but the objective is to defeat the boss, this Cyclops who spawns in on turn 2. The solution is to move a strong unit across the map, using the terrain to draw the attention of as few enemies as possible. If you know the correct route, it's not too bad, but it serves as a tricky puzzle to figure out. So in other words, I need to be unequipped, find a spot that I can get to safely, then drop Ephraim, take items, kill boss.
Yes.
Oh boy.
There is one more spot where you can put items that they will be very easily accessible to Cormac.
Oh, on Ephraim, and then trade him.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, this now feels a little bit sketchy with just how many enemies there are nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what took me the most time. Yeah, that's also bad.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, well. I also don't have a tile for Ephraim to attack one range. This feels slightly
This is true.
Fumbled. But I'll crit.
Nice.
Okay.
Well played. Works every time.
Chapter 13, Floorspur's Oath, is one of the two big obstacles on Ephraim route. Truthfully, the map isn't that challenging. It's a route enemy chapter with Selena in the center, who'll fire off bolting attacks from long range. There are a few important stat boosters to pick up, a sleep staff to dodge, but the real problem here is carelessness. With how enemy dense this map is, it's inevitable that the map will take a while to clear, and one misstep into bolting range, sleep range, or having one unit take on too much can mean a reset, easily adding a huge amount of extra time to your run. An outcome I quickly realized firsthand.
Alright, this is like the last easy map for the next 3 maps. So I think if I want to make dinner while you practice, now is my only opportunity. So I think I'm going to do that now.
That's fine, go for it.
So I'll be right back.
Oh dear. Oh no. Okay, well. Oh no. Oh no.
I swear we did this already.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Did he die to Selena or something?
Yeah. I tried to Silver Lance her for a 2-hit KO, missed like a 85, 89, something like that, and she had exact 2-hit KO.
He's like, ideally he refreshes his pure water and then fights her with a Silver Lance and just one-rounds her while she has bolting equipped.
Yeah, she did not have bolting equipped. But it's fine, because now I get to optimize the strategy that I've identified in the previous attempt.
Free practice time.
Oh my god, not like this, man. No!
Oh my god. Why is he EP? Why is Selena alive while you're EP?
Yeah, okay, that wasn't quite what I was hoping for. The good thing is, I don't need to worry about the bolting anymore.
Is it out? She used it 5 times.
Oh no. Now she's used it 5 times.
How do you feel about Ephraim route versus Eirika route now?
I want to be going into the draft willing to do both. Despite the setback, I'd learned a lot from my first attempt, and cleared my second run through with fewer problems. But last is arguably one of, if not the most technical map in the entire run. Grado Keep. Chapter 14 is the climax of Ephraim's route, and it's got everything you can think of to slow us down or cause a reset. A powerful boss who often takes several turns to knock out, a huge number of enemies as well as reinforcements, and multiple status staves including 2 of the most threatening, Berserk staves. Berserk makes your unit impossible to control, and they'll attack friend or foe in range. A berserked unit in the best of cases is a heavy time loss, and in the worst it's a reset. But thankfully we have ways of dealing with this formation. If a unit has high enough resistance, or if they don't have a weapon equipped, the druids won't target them, and we can utilise both of these conditions to rush to the throne room with Ephraim and my carries using Pure Water. An item which boosts the user's resistance by 7, decreasing by 1 every turn. And honestly, if we're talking about the most important resources in a run, Pure Water might just come out on top, especially on Ephraim route. Magic attacks from enemies early game against my low resistance units, Pure Water. Long range attacks from a boss or promoted enemy with a siege tome, Pure Water. Dangerous status staves that will debilitate your carry, Pure Water. If there was one thing that quickly became ingrained throughout my practice, it was to use Pure Water, and use it liberally. But back to Grotto Keep. The threat of status staves, coupled with the reinforcements, means that I'm on a timer. I need to get to the throne room, take out the druids, defeat Vigard and seize the throne, all while maintaining my high resistance, and making sure reinforcements don't block the hallway. And that I don't overextend my limited combat units and suffer a casualty. And once again, mistakes in this chapter are incredibly punishing.
And you see the difference was the distance, unless they had different magic stats, which I didn't check. Alright, so first, yeah, you gotta check if you kill it. And this is why you bring like a good one range weapon. Oh, Iron Lance, there you go. What?
Oh, no, what have I done?
Don't do that.
Why did I do that, man?
I thought you were gonna like put the Iron Lance on him so that Duzo could take it.
Yeah, you know, that would have
never
been...
gone out like this.
Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine.
Improvements.
You know, we've all stalled the car to get more value out of the driving lesson before. It's fine. I think that was probably the biggest blunder of my career. My first attempt had admittedly gone pretty well until that crucial blunder, and I eventually stumbled through the second attempt with a few extra mistakes, causing a minor traffic jam in the hallway and dragging this annoying sleep-staff bishop from the opposite side. But this marked the end of Ephraim route in my practice, and my time around this point was around 3 hours, with another 7 chapters to go.
I think you did experience a lot of the things that can go wrong in Ephraim routes between like...
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think you hit every single snack you could have hit, which is good because it's good practice. Like you hit the sleep staffs in chapter 9, some of the problems with like Cormag and Tana and training Cormag in chapter 10. It went well though. Phantom Ship went really well. And then 13, I mean, you have to reset, but like, it's because a risk was taken with Cormag. Like, whatever,
yeah, that was entirely avoidable.
And now you know how to avoid it. That goes for like all these errors. And you actually played the second attempt of 14 pretty cleanly overall.
While chapters 15 and 16 have some variations across Eirika's and Ephraim's routes, they're largely the same, and race results often come down to who can reach the end of the route split first and clear chapter 15. But chapter 15 itself is no walk in the park. Scorched Sand is an infamous map in Fire Emblem 8, with 2 strong bosses and a vast desert to cross. Your starting location depends on which lord you accompanied, either outside of Jehana Hall if you're with Eirika, or in the plains to the southwest with Ephraim. But the unit formations and strategy are similar in either case. I send my main carry to cross the desert, using their flying mobility to get to the opposite boss as quickly as possible, while the secondary carry deals with the nearby boss. With strong enough carries, the bosses aren't too difficult, but the real challenge with Scorched Sand is the race against reinforcements. On turn 8, a huge group of enemies appears in the southwest. You can save a lot of time by defeating all enemies before these reinforcements appear. Chapter 16 is also noteworthy, and in many ways similar to Grotto Keep. It's a large map in which you can easily get bogged down by reinforcements, caught off guard by siege tomes or status staves, or overextend with your carry and suffer a reset. But it's also where we recruit Myr, one of the most important units in the race. While she starts off weak, Myr is one of the most consistent answers to some of the final bosses in the game, provided you can find the time to train her up without using up all 50 uses of her Dragonstone. It's a careful balancing act with potentially devastating consequences. Overuse Myr and she could break the Dragonstone, making her useless in the most important parts of the run. But don't use her enough and she'll be too weak to survive against Leon and the Demon King, effectively making her just as useless. Chapter 17 is probably the shortest chapter in the game since the prologue. With a flyer, we can just fly across the map and defeat Leon, ending the chapter immediately. In contrast, chapter 18 is a unique route map with monster eggs, which will hatch into strong enemies unless you can defeat them quickly enough. It rewards having several strong combat units to destroy these eggs, and gives a lot of value to a draftable unit like Null, who can immediately promote to Summoner and use Phantoms to destroy 2 eggs for the price of 1 turn. Chapter 19, while a very fun casual map, is trivialized by rushing a carry to the bottom left and defeating Reeve. It can be a little tricky to pull this off with some characters, but by picking up the Brave Lance on the way, it's pretty easy to guarantee the 1-round KO. And finally, we have Chapter 20, the single chapter in the game that makes flyer characters so polarizing. The enemy density on this map is unlike any other, and we need to seize the gate guarded by Reeve alongside an incredibly powerful Draco zombie, Morva. Most trained units can survive a round of combat against Morva, but not necessarily against both Morva and Reeve, and it's impossible to get to the gate quickly without a flyer to cross the mountain and lake. The solution for this map varies considerably, based on whether the main carry can survive combat, whether Eirika or Ephraim can defeat Morva alone, and so on. In this practice session, I was able to defeat Morva with Ephraim while keeping Cormac unequipped. With Cormac unable to retaliate, weaker enemies stay alive on enemy phase and block Reeve from being able to attack my weakened lord. With the added resistance from a Pure Water, I was able to survive the enemy phase, and seize the gate quickly, though it remains to be seen whether I can pull off a similar strategy in the context of a race. While Chapter 20 poses a technical challenge to solve, the final chapter is no walk in the park either. The main strategy involves cutting across the central chasm with Myr and a flyer, breaking the enemy formation around Leon, and using a trained Myr to take the prince down. Though with that said, there's plenty that can go wrong. Gorgons with Stone are back, only this time I'm reliant on far fewer, more important units. Not only that, the sheer number of monsters around Leon means it can be hard to actually reach him. But thankfully, if Myr is well trained, she can take him down very consistently, clearing the path to the Demon King. While the Demon King should be a threatening final boss, he's probably the easiest part of the race, provided my units can survive a single hit. For Mortis spends his second turn summoning monsters, meaning even if he doesn't fall on the first turn, he doesn't do much of anything to threaten my team. And delivering the final blow means the end of the run, locking in a time for my first practice of 4 hours and 20 minutes. While this time was admittedly pretty slow, with how many resets and careless mistakes I'd suffered on Ephraim's route, I was confident I could bring it down by almost an hour if I were to repeat the attempt under the same circumstances. But unfortunately, I only had one more practice session before the race, and this time I'd be doing the majority of the run without my coach. Mekkah and I decided to split my single practice run across 2 halves, with Mekkah coaching the start of the game to the end of Chapter 14 on my Ephraim route practice, then picking up from Chapter 15 onwards in my Eirika route practice. The reason being that there are a few differences in Eirika's Chapter 15 and 16 that made the coaching more effective there. So with one practice session down, I started my second, with a new route and a new team. For this run, I drafted 4 units in particular: Tana, Colm, Franz, and Null. The idea would be to replicate this draft if I get the second position. Tana is one of the best candidates for an Eirika route carry, and if the first player drafts Vanessa, you get to pick your second unit before they do. At first glance, Colm may seem an odd choice. He's weak in combat, has no 2 range, and the game gives you plenty of door and chest keys. But the reason he's such a valuable unit to draft is because of an energy ring in Chapter 7, which can only be obtained by stealing it with Colm. Vanessa and Tana both really want this energy ring, but from the second position, you can draft Colm before the Vanessa player can. While it's likely that Franz will be drafted by players 3 or 4, it's possible that they prioritize Seth and Cormag if one of them is willing to go Ephraim route, meaning they'd prioritize other units for their second picks. The Vanessa player doesn't really want to take Franz, because their focus is on training Vanessa in the early chapters, meaning I can save a strong secondary carry in Franz for my 3rd round pick. It's a draft plan that relies on a lot of assumptions, but with this practice I could prepare for racing with both Tana and Franz, and be very comfortable on race day if I manage to get my hands on both of them. The first leg went pretty smoothly with one exception. Chapter 2 has you facing bandits alongside Ross and Garcia, but as I now had both Eirika and Franz to train up, I tried to feed as much experience as possible, only to end up taking a 5-minute penalty because Vanessa got attacked by a bandit. A small mistake in the grand scheme of things, but little mistakes like these quickly add up. Beyond that, my planning was good. Franz and Eirika both got plenty of experience in Chapter 4, making Chapter 5 a breeze. Chapter 7 was a little slower than before, as this time I didn't have Pirate Ross to walk over the river, and I needed to lure the mage into range of Colm to steal the energy ring. Chapter 8 was a breeze with a strong promoted Franz, who at this point could juggernaut any and all enemies in his path. Eirika took care of Torado, while Franz and Chomp collected the Elysian Whip to the left. This brings us to Eirika route. Definitely the easier of the two, but still with plenty of considerations. The first of which being Tana in Chapter 9. Unlike Ephraim route, Tana actually has a chance to train in this chapter, but given the number of pirates and archers, it can be difficult to do so safely. I used Tana and Franz to deal with the bulk of the enemy force, sending Franz towards the boss while having Tana fly over the ocean, fighting where she could do so safely to get as much experience as possible. Amelia shows up, and ideally you recruit her for her speed wing in both routes. Thankfully with Franz here we can talk, have Amelia trade her items away, and die on enemy phase without risking a penalty. Not the most humane treatment of a rookie soldier, but thankfully we're more concerned with saving time than saving lives. At least this time. Once we're out of Chapter 9, it's time to hit the Tower of Volney. This is only relevant for Tana. Vanessa can spend the entire first leg training up, while Cormac has plenty of opportunity to train in Ephraim's Chapter 10 and 11. Tana, on the other hand, needs a bit of a detour to get her enough experience to promote. So I give her all of the stat boosters I've been saving and run her through the first floor of the tower to level up. While one tower run is usually enough, I end up running a second just to be safe, finishing at level 15 and promoting her to Wyvern Knight ahead of Chapter 10. This is one of Eirika's maps where a flyer becomes a big time save. We can fly over the mountain range to reach the boss immediately, having Tana handle Pablo and his cronies while Eirika sits nearby, ready to seize the gate. Inez, Garrick and Tethys all join at the end of the chapter, so there's no need to worry about the bottom half of the map, allowing us to save a lot of time. Chapter 11 is a route map, with monster enemies hiding inside an abandoned fort. With two strong carries in Franz and Tana, I can divide and conquer, sending each of them to the south and east to take care of all of the enemies quickly. Chapter 12, on the other hand, is probably the longest map on Eirika's route. Village of Silence is a long map covered with monsters, many of which are inaccessible to most units atop peaks. Not only that, there are reinforcement zones all over the map, meaning rushing ahead too quickly causes extra enemies to spawn. Saleh joins in this chapter, but as I haven't drafted him, he's more of a hindrance than a help. While I found myself a little caught out by these reinforcements, I was eventually able to finish the map, sending Tana to chase down the most out-of-the-way monsters, while Eirika and Franz dealt with the monsters along the main path. Chapter 13 may seem imposing, but it's actually Eirika's easiest map. The clear conditions are to survive for 11 turns or defeat the boss, but we can park a strong unit on the fort in front of the enemy and watch them crash against Franz. With the bulk of the enemies defeated, all it takes is fighting the Great Knight boss with one of the many effective weapons I've picked up to finish the chapter in only 2 turns. This is another one of the reasons why Cormac is valued so little on Eirika's route. You'd have to waste so much time recruiting him that it just ultimately isn't worth it. The last of Eirika's maps is Johanna Hall. Chapter 14 can be tricky for the unprepared. The best route to the throne room is through the eastern hallway, with Tana leading the charge. Meanwhile, Franz and Colm head to the southwestern room. We want to loot the 2 chests here for an energy ring and a dragon sphere, both of which will be very helpful for Tana in Chapter 15. While there is the first of few status staves on Eirika's route nearby, we can ignore it completely by rushing through the door with a mounted unit. And while the boss Carlisle can be threatening, especially against flying units with effective damage, our incredibly strong Tana is more than capable of taking him down. My time at the end of Eirika's route was a little over 2 hours, a stark difference from my first practice run on Ephraim's route. And while I had no doubt improved significantly as a racer after my first attempt, it was hard to deny the fact that Eirika's route was much more low risk. So I rejoined Mekkah on call to finish my final practice, with the hope of achieving a sub 3-hour run.
What you could do is fill his inventory so he can like die and you send the boots off and it doesn't matter if he dies.
You know what? I feel like I've collected javelins for that express purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, so the boots are like the fort is the upper left tile, the Sift Souls. So the fort and anywhere down right from it is basically boots.
Here is...
That's a good place, yes, that will do.
Goodbye, Colm.
It's good you didn't put him on the fort. It's not like we care about what happens to him. Like, below average res, Tana still has like a lot of res.
Bye, Colm.
There you go, bye.
Thanks for clearing out my convoy of javelins.
Alright, that's blessed
one
France taking care of this. Not something you could do with Gilliam.
Sure. Okay, so now I think the only problematic area of the map is top right.
Is this Reaver? No, it's not Reaver. Eirika, is it?
Yeah, I gave it the Reaver.
Okay, that's good.
I had her
she's,
use the Reaver against
low.
the Merc because it allowed the
Okay.
2-hit KO and then meant she didn't
Makes
get
sense.
slaughtered by Pegasi. Do any of the Pegasi have javelins?
Yeah, there's some that do.
Alright, well, that keeps things interesting.
FV8 is a non-complicated, very easy game.
Oh, I think we found it. I think this is okay. Ephraim can deal with the Merc. Franz should now be the only one getting attacked by Pegasi. Dusel has a javelin for the group down there.
That's not heal AI, so it should be okay. You have to turn off the reinforcements now. So there's like, what, 4 enemies left. So it's probably doable. And if you miss it, it's by like 1 enemy. I think you might have done it. Unless Ephraim doesn't like kill this guy.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Congrats, you did it.
That felt like, I feel like other than little things with Eirika at the start, that felt like a pretty decent clear. There's never Swifts or Myrrh, is it?
Sometimes it is boots with the Myrrh. Depends.
I feel like any time I could spend deliberating over it is just time I won't make back, so I'm just gonna do
Sure.
this.
We'll see what this does. Okay, yeah, Myrrh's not great at grinding in the starting point of this in Eirika version.
Are the reinforcements too late, I would assume?
Yeah, they're all like enemies that she doesn't want to kill or have like
Right,
javelins.
gotcha.
Tana is better off alone than with a Franz holding Eirika here.
Like, I've kind of got a vision here, but it might be a little bit,
That looks
risky.
alright. The extra like broken combat units is going to make this a lot easier.
Yeah,
for
for sure. Absolutely. It's like pretty good, but still slightly scary. Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, okay. I was going to suggest having Franz rescue Eirika up and then take dropping with Tana. Because now even if you remove Orson from the equation, you still can't seize.
Oh, you're so right. Alright, well.
Yeah, she's probably safe on the throne anyway. Like holding a sword against like a bunch of warriors, that's fine.
Yeah. Though what I do need to do
Oh yeah,
is
don't
swap
good,
that.
good catch. Who's gonna fight Leon?
I mean, it's got to be Tana, right?
Sure.
Don't say it like that.
There's
Sure.
there's
Yeah,
almost
man.
no wrong answer. Whatever you think you can do it the fastest with, pick that one. She's probably fine. It's just a lot of fighting for, again, not a 1-round KO. If she's not fine, it would be a shame to turn a 30-second chapter into a 1-minute chapter.
Yeah, to a several-minute chapter.
Yeah, we found a way to kill Mer, guys.
Wait. Okay, no. We can
Never punished.
actually making me sweat there. Let's go.
Yeah, there's basically no Eirika Ephraim differences besides Eirika and Ephraim themselves.
The value.
You can consider this Ephraim route practice as well. Yes, no XP, yay. Speaking of consideration, Tethys might die to Shadow Shot.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I think what Franz did was like the easiest job in a chapter, so I would try to give that to Ephraim in this.
Yeah, and then
configuration.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's huge.
Oh my god, Phantom going in.
The null draft priority is rising.
Good shit, Phantom. In this chapter, you really should only need like 1 unit that goes to kill Riev and like Tethys. You don't really need any more. You can bring more if you want for safety.
Probably this then.
Yeah, and this also
like-
shields Tethys. This is a good move, yeah.
I kind of hate what I've done already. I also forgot I put my...
That's fine, just let her end turn, it's fine.
Yeah. Every time I play this chapter now, I just get reminded of how impossible it is to keep these guys alive if you're playing
It's so
casually. Like, they just don't even give them a fighting chance.
I love the guys on the far right that just one of them dies to a hand axe fight, the other one dies to nothing. Just attacks the fog and dies. Let's go.
Wait!
Oh, he lives. Somehow.
These guys are actually the famed Roston Knights.
Yeah, another good case for Kill Lance. Or Brave Lance. Brave Lance is pretty good here too. Watch out for crit.
He
You
lives
have
the
Hopland
crit.
Guard? Oh my god. Okay, well, just know that Hopland Guard is pretty good against this guy. You got 15 minutes.
It's doable. I mean, I'm slightly
doable.
scared about Leon because my Mer is not very strong right now. Like, I remember spending that whole practice, like, burning resets to figure it out, and now I'm on the spot.
And having Mer here is also helpful because if your Tana gets like surrounded by enemies for some reason, like sometimes I like to disarm her for this chapter, then she can bail her out. It's pretty good. Who's gonna fight Morva?
Well, it has to be Tana, right? Or Mer. But Mer's a bit far.
Yeah, no, Mer's doesn't have enough HP to do it, I think.
There's no way she dies, right?
Tana? No. Your Tana is insane. You're fine.
Oh, I'm not talking about my Tana.
Oh, Eirika's also fine, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh!
So close.
Now, I do have a concern here, actually.
Dying?
Which is...
Blocks?
No, that. Because now...
Oh, Myr's here, right?
That should be
Myr
close
here?
enough.
I think she might be one tile off of killing that Mogul.
Oh, don't say that. Please don't say that. Ooh, okay!
Yeah,
Time for some
so
backup
close.
strats.
Yeah, it's a good thing we gave boost to France, eh?
Yeah, this should be fine then.
I think so.
Alright, that's good, because that was absolutely a backup strat.
Still doable. Well, you had a backup strat. Pretty good.
Alright, I think the sub 3 hour might be very optimistic, but
I mean, you're
See how we
close.
go.
That's what counts.
yeah, for sure.
I just feel like Myr is enough, and then I think Myr plus Tana is more than enough, and then I don't know where the France value comes in, but we'll find out. This is still an okay square, it's where I often put Myr.
The tech!
We could sit there and pure water in front of him.
In front of Leon.
Yeah. What could possibly go
Yeah.
wrong? I mean, she's not going to die to anything else. Like, she has mega defense.
That is true. Alright, yeah, we'll send it. Like, I know we said if he dies, but...
Yeah, I feel like almost no matter how good your Franz is, you can always, like, do some of that and just die. The double stone? Double stone?
We hit the most powerful button in the game.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's on stone?
Wait, now he can spend more time killing things.
True. Bad, actually.
Imagine that being the way you lose a race. Getting hit by poison to remove stone to burn more time to enemy phase combat. Wait, Franz lives.
Yay.
Okay, that is that's a very convincing combat, actually.
Yeah, just do it. 303.
Hey!
Nice.
All right.
Pretty fast.
That felt pretty good. The final time was 3 hours and 8 minutes. Just shy of sub 3 hours as a result of a few slower chapters and the penalty acquired early on in the run. And while it may seem like this makes it clear that Eirika route is the far more appealing option, this time had the benefit of being my second practice. I'd saved almost half an hour from the initial leg with Eirika, and over an hour running Eirika's route split chapters rather than Ephraim's. But even though the Ephraim chapters had taken considerably longer, this was due to resets, careless mistakes, and learning different strategies for each map, with most time being lost on chapters 9, 13, and 14. If I could complete these maps without a reset on race day, I was confident the difference between Eirika and Ephraim route would be minimal. With that in mind, I prepared my notes and identified my draft strategy. Of the 4 positions in the draft, it should come as no surprise that the spots I wanted most were first or second. With either of these draft positions, my plan was to draft Vanessa or Tana and go Eirika route. With Vanessa, I'd have my eyes on strong secondary carries who arrive during the route split, like Garrick and Saleh, as well as Colm for the utility he provides by stealing the energy ring in chapter 7 and unlocking chests in chapter 14. In second position, I would plan to take Tana, grab Colm on the second rotation to deny him from the first pick player, and grab either Franz, Saleh or Garrick as my secondary carry, depending on who was still available. To round out either draft, I'd be looking for any units that offer some kind of niche usage, like Dozler or Null, or any units that have some kind of usefulness in specific chapters, like Forde for 5x, or a unit for chapter 5. But if I ended up with third or fourth position in the draft, things get much trickier. The assumption here is that Vanessa and Tana will be taken by the first and second round players straight away, meaning the 2 options here are Seth and Cormac. Seth is a powerhouse main carry, but he's not a flyer, meaning even on Eirika route, I'll have slower solutions for chapter 10, 12, and 15. However, Seth is a much safer option than Cormac, given the relative ease of Eirika route. Not only that, if I expect the 4th place player may choose to draft Franz over Cormac, then there's nothing stopping me from picking up Cormac and Dussel later and going Ephraim route with 3 incredibly powerful carries. On the other hand, with Cormac, I can lock in my flyer straight away. Of course, this decision assumes that I'm third pick in the draft and haven't had other players make this decision for me. If I'm the last pick in the draft, it will likely be a case of choosing Franz and going Eirika route, or picking up a Cormac who's been left behind by the other 3 players and going Ephraim route. So needless to say, I'm hoping more than anything I'm granted one of the first 2 draft picks. So all that remained was to see how the draft unfolded on race day, and see if the culmination of my practice could earn me the win.
The times from last week are pretty wide. There's roughly an hour gap between all of them. So keep that in mind. Don't get too caught up in trying to beat your opponents today. Just get a good time for yourself. Your coach hopefully has prepared you for those moments. Let's get that draft underway. It looks like all your names are in there, so I'm just going to click randomize. We'll see what happens, who gets first pick. And it looks like first pick will be Numbers, second is Allie, third is Smithsville, and fourth is the Gambling Prince. With that in mind, Numbers, do you have a pick for me?
A little torn between comfort and what's best, but let's try Vanessa.
Let's do Vanessa. Okay, Allie.
Well, I told myself that if I got a certain draft position, I would stick to basics, and if I didn't, I would gamble on on Ephraim route. But unfortunately for the Ephraim believers, I will be taking Tana.
Tana.
Okay, so I get to actually deviate from the norm. Give me Seth.
Seth.
I'll take Franz and Colm.
Franz and Cole.
And
Very
Colm.
interesting. Very interesting. All right.
Give me Garcia.
Okay. I was like, this sounds most like Ewan, but I don't think you want to pick Ewan. Okay, Garcia. Gotcha.
Well, this is where I was going to say give me Colm, but now my draft plan is in shambles.
Yeah. Can't believe someone denied a Flyers Colm. We don't see this often
dare.
enough.
Let's go with Garrick.
Garrick. Okay. Numbers, 2 picks.
All right. I will go with Dussel,
All right.
and let's go with Natasha.
Natasha. All right. Okay. We're cooking out here. We're cooking. Allie.
I'll take Saleh.
Saleh. It would be really funny if someone used their coach call right now.
I almost did. I literally thought about saying is now a good time for my coach call.
I know, right?
And, give me Kyle. Sure. We'll go with Kyle.
Good old Kyle.
Since I'm going Ephraim route, I guess I'll take Cormac and then Joshua.
Oh,
Whoa, the pivot.
Whoa. What just happened?
I'll take Mulder.
Mulder.
There's a pick I really want, but I'm afraid of numbers. But I think I have to follow my heart, and I have to draft Forde.
Do you now?
I do. I'm so sorry, Mekkah, I do.
It's your funeral. But it looks like I have my favorite 2D. And it's not this one.
Let's go with Innes
Yes.
and La Rochelle.
La Rochelle based pick. Okay.
I was convinced this character would have been gone, but I'm going to take Dosla.
Yay, Dosla.
Me, Styrene.
Cyrene.
I don't know, Gilliam and Ross.
Gilliam and Ross. Okay.
I'll just take Namie.
Namie.
I will take Noel, please.
Take Noel.
Marissa and Rennick.
Marissa
Or-
and Renek.
Wow, I was going to say I still care about the picks, but then Renak went, so it's truly up to the air now. I'll take Amelia, I guess.
Amelia. Smith, which mage do you want?
Loot.
Loot, yes!
With that pick, Arthur went to Gambling Prince, and the drafts were finalized. And honestly, my team was much better than I'd anticipated. While characters like Tana and Garrick were well within my plans, I didn't expect to have the opportunity to grab value picks like Saleh, Dosla, and Noel throughout the draft. But my lineup does have one major issue. The only unit I have available to use before I recruit Tana is Eirika. I could use Forde, but doing so is more trouble than it's worth, and realistically, I only drafted him to tease my coach. Picking a unit like Arthur over Amelia would have been a much better choice. But needless to say, I was going into the race confident. Tana was the Eirika route carry I'd practiced with, Garrick and Saleh are units I've used casually on many playthroughs, and I've got plenty of extra value in Dosla and Noel. So, it was time for the start of the race.
In that case, starting pistol will be 5 seconds. I'll count it down. Here it goes. Chat, hope you're ready. Here goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Good luck. Okay, they are hella locked in, so I deafened. As usual, we'll see in the early game, a lot of Seth, a lot like Eirika. And from there, it's going to slowly deviate between the different carries. Apparently 2 people going Ephraim route. I expected Glux's 2d2. I wasn't expecting the random Dusel pick from numbers. I gotta expect him he's going Ephraim route as well. Which is usually the harder route for beginners, but if your coach does well and if you practice it twice with the 2 practice races that they each got, definitely doable for a beginner. Bottom red screen, Ali, my 2D, my boy, picked Forde, so maybe a little bit less so. Already going into chapter 2, he's got Tana carry, and no one in the early game besides Eirika, so we're going to see a true Eirika solo. I do think he expressed some desire for an early game unit, so a little surprised to not see any. But I reckon he's confident if he just let them all go. Ardor was available for the whole time. Gillian was available for a pretty long time. Ross was pretty available for a long time. None of those went. Ali is holding Ross with Seth, possibly to set up kills for Eirika. Ali is a little bit more reliant on Eirika than everyone else because he's got no one else. But I would still recommend everyone else train up their Eirika, especially if they're going Eirika route, because Eirika will be useful in the late game, and the more level she gets, the more likely she is to survive those late game ordeals, maybe fight the Demon King. I see that Smithsville took the time to get it. I see Ali and Gambling Prince haven't gotten it yet, but they could still do so later. You could get the 5x key as well. The thing is, you really want 2 keys for Chapter 8, and one of us in 5x and the other one is in Chapter 3, so if you miss the Chapter 3 one, either give it the Angelic Rope or the Elysian Whip.
Strength versus finesse level. Who needs an energy ring?
Well, apparently our our 4th place draft dude took Colm does.
I actually don't. You guys will see what I want to use comp for. It's not the energy ring.
Is my man losing Grado Keep? What's going on?
I probably will get the energy ring just because why not, right? But it's not why I drafted him. Killing that chess key guy took unnecessarily long, but whatever.
Ooh, there was a chess key in chapter 3, wasn't there? Oh no. Mekkah, you would tell me if I have made a debilitating mistake, right?
Yeah, after the race.
Okay.
Or during the coach call.
Okay, I might need my coach call. Let's say hypothetically I didn't get the chess key from chapter 3 somehow. Let's, hypothetically.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing Tana carry.
Do you actually want your coach call?
Well, you know what? Yes, actually, I do.
All right. You got my timer. Everyone gets a 15-minute coach call. If other racers find it annoying, please just mute me for a second. Take a couple seconds to break.
I might, because it's the guy in the room with the chest, isn't it?
Yep.
That I have a horrible feeling I didn't kill.
Okay.
And hypothetically, if that were the case...
You're fine. You can get the chapter 5x chess key.
Yeah, 5x was what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think there might be a second chess key, actually. Yeah, both the fighter and the mage have a chess key. So you can get both, and then you can get both treasures in chapter 8.
Okay.
You'll just have to kill the mage through the wall and the fighter, actually go into the room. Or you can kill the fighter through the wall, I think. Just look at 5x when you get there.
Not how I was expecting to be using my coach call, but okay, that's good. At least now I have an idea of what to do there. And I guess because of my chess key shenanigans now, I'm probably quicker sending Ephraim up the left side, aren't I, to go get the chest? Right? Because the key will just be on him. Forde.
Yeah, unironically, Forde value, as much as I hate to admit it.
Yeah.
Let's go. It was all planned.
I mean, Ephraim probably should do the combat on the way there because, surprise, Ephraim is better at fighting than Forde is.
Yeah, it's funny. I finished our draft and I immediately realized the one issue with my draft, which is I'm literally Eirika solo.
Eirika solo is good. I thought you were doing it on purpose. I was like, all right, he doesn't want.
No. I was like, I think this is definitely the right play, but it's a little beyond what I practice. So it's like, it'll be fine. I'll just level strength. It'll be great. Cool. All right, I'm gonna end my break.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, no, I think I actually have to move Natasha back.
You can check Joshua's damage. He might not kill Eirika with a crit if you're in the forest. Don't do it this turn, of course.
I hope you're timing the coach call, by the way.
Yeah, actually.
I've been trying not to say anything, but it's been sounding like some backseating.
Honestly, it's crazy that you guys aren't using your coach call for this exact reason. No, I think the chess key situation kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah,
slowly stabilizing.
Understandable. Oh, one last thing before I got...
Okay. I think that was the bit. It's time for Forde training.
Talk about Forde training. Get out of here. Okay, so to catch up, Ali forgot the Chapter 3 chess key, so he needs to get both chess keys in Chapter 5X if he wants both the Angelic Robe in Chapter 8 and the Illusion Whip to promote Tana. Let me see what everyone else is doing. So Smith still fielded Mulder. Presumably, I think I see a Torch Vision in there in Chapter 6. And here's Garcia going in. Now, Garcia got sick level ups, by the way. And, I mean, Smith is far ahead. Base Strength Eirika, though? Ugh. Fortunately, he has that Garcia to fall back on, so he probably won't be too held back. But if Ali got that Eirika, this race would probably be over. Gambling Prince has made it to 5X and his beloved Ephraim. I didn't see the stunts he pulled with Joshua, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of that to come since he was recruited last chapter. He said he's fielding him every chapter and having him do something every time. Numbers made it to the end of Chapter 5 again. Manages to feed Bosco to Vanessa. I don't know how blessed this one is. You got a really blessed one in Chapter 4 and had to reset. No, 7 strength is alright. Ali has to throw away the silver sword from Orson, which normally not a big deal, but I do know Ali might want to use that with Garrick against Kalak.
I've got bad news for the citizens of Renee. Despite some early problems as a result of missing the chest key in Chapter 3 and a slower clear of Chapter 5 due to only having Eirika, I was able to catch up pretty well. As I can cross the river in Chapter 7 with Eirika for a quick solution, I was entering Chapter 8 around the same time as Smithsville. Only I had an extra 4.5 minutes under my belt thanks to the time I'd spent on break during my coach call. But Chapter 8 would be one of the biggest challenges I'd face in the race.
Very fast Eirika solo of Chapter 7 as well by Ali. Yep, Ali is on 8. Fully caught up, and with that break time that he took, the 5 minutes of break time, he's actually solidly in the lead. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much of it by getting the chess key, or rather not getting the chess key in 3 and then having to do in this chapter without it. He also has to do everything with Eirika, which is going to be a rather big slowdown. I know I just said like Eirika solo is slow or Eirika solo is fast, but in this chapter we have so much distance to traverse and different directions to go for like the chest and everything. It is really nice to have a carry that actually does a lot of damage here. I think Ali should definitely have drafted Ross or Garcia, or even Ardor. I'd probably take a bunch of... Go back with Ephraim, go back with Ephraim, go back with Ephraim, please. No. He's gonna have to like discard all his shit. Well, huh? Oh my god, no, dude. No, Forde cannot do that. He sucks. You suck, his unit sucks, you can't do it, no!
Like, I can't even say I'm doing it ironically at this point. Like, I'm actually just using Forde. Like, getting value out of him.
Bringing Eirika back for this would also be good. What are we doing? Oh, okay. Oh, so now Kyle can trade the chess key to Eirika. Okay, I don't hate this, actually. This is an okay solution.
Forde has been instrumental in my Chapter 8 strategy, I can't deny.
So the thing with Forde is that he can always technically carry someone.
True. He is a carry, by that definition.
True.
Exactly.
It's crazy how my coach can be muted, and I still hear him getting angry about my Forde gameplay. It's a special skill.
Can't believe Forde just drank 9 vulneraries. 9.
He's thirsty.
We spent so much time not killing Forde.
You can't even deny he's been instrumental. This is the most Forde value FEA draft racing has seen in months. Years, even.
And it's negative.
There's no way. A second Forde level?
God.
Classic Forde level HP skill.
Sir, second Forde is at the tower.
HP skill.
Oh god, guys, which chest is the Elysian Whip? Be kind to me. It's the right one, right?
It's the right one, yeah.
The right one, yeah.
Okay, good. That is the... Okay. If you'd all lied to me, I would have cried.
Can
You don't have Kyle, so you're not really allowed to do that without taking a penalty.
Yeah.
Oh!
I was about to say that.
I don't say this often, but you should have used Forde for this purpose.
Okay, understood. That is a shame.
It makes you feel better. I think the winner of the first draft race, I think Adam, did the exact same thing.
Oh, really? That's
So
good. Okay.
You're looking favorable right now. Kyle penalty is only 5 minutes for Ali.
Sorry. I've let you down, coach.
I mean, you did that the moment you drafted Forde.
I think I still have the respect and admiration of my coach. I think.
Oh no, Smith is cruising right now, and it's great.
I'm confident, like I say.
To clarify exactly what happened here, undrafted units are unable to open chests. As I used Kyle for this task by accident, as a result of him being force deployed, I had to suffer a 5-minute penalty. The irony here is that if I just had Kyle hold up the Cavaliers while Forde opened the chest, I'd have been absolutely fine. Regardless, it was a setback, and one I'd have to work hard to make up for.
Nope.
Alright, it's official. 2 Ephraim, 2 Eirika. Ephraim at the top, Eirika at the bottom. Chat, hear me out. New theory. Ali's 9 is going to be slow anyway because Eirika solo is so bad. So what if you just take the time to train Tana here instead of going to the tower? You'll basically merge 2 slow things into one, right? I think that's a pretty good idea. Because normally what happens with Tana and Eirika route is you kind of sit there and have to sit in the tower for a while to get her up to par because she joins at level 4 with kind of equivalent stats. So I think we're going to see a fair amount of Tana training here, and maybe 1 tower session. The penalty time from using Kyle in Chapter 8 is going to kind of equalize the break time. But I expect Smith will probably have a much faster Chapter 9 because Seth is just dominant in that chapter. He's not afraid of anything.
I was not expecting to do this much Tana training, but here we are. Nice. Good strength levels.
Level.
You having fun with that Chapter 9, Ali?
I'm having a great time. I'm having an even better time,
Oh,
let me tell you.
That's a good Tana level.
Oh! It's fine. No one saw that. My coach is screaming right now. I can hear it. Oh, no! Okay, well.
Bye, Amelia.
Well, it's fine. I'm truly missing lots of stat boosters right now. It was around this time that another consequence of my draft came to light. With only Eirika and Tana to use for Chapter 9, I missed out on both the Draco Shield in the Western Village and the Angelic Robe for saving all of the villagers. Not only that, I ran out of time to recruit Amelia, meaning she runs off with the Speedwing I desperately needed for Garrick. But on the bright side, I finally had my main carry, and with Garrick, Dosler and Saleh all close to joining too, I'd be able to pick up the pace. Oh my god, I'm so happy right now! This is a very nice Tana.
Yeah, nice Tana, butter.
Whatever.
Thanks. I'm just doing everything my coach told me to, and it's really working out. You know, I don't even think I need to send Tana to the tower. Is that crazy?
I will say that I think Ali got one of the villages destroyed, and I think it was the Rapier one. Which means he still got the Draco Shield, but he missed out on another Angelic Robe. Hopefully he got the Chapter 8 one, at least for Tana. I think he did. But that makes her a little less broken. But yeah, he's deciding not to go tower and promote Tana, which I agree with. It's a very good Tana. Okay, so numbers approaching the end of Chapter 9 Ephraim. Long chapter, so don't blame him for taking a long time. Looks like it went pretty cleanly though. Ali approaching the end of Chapter 10, dropping Eirika in what looks like basically the only spot he could. But didn't put Tana in front of the boss, instead of move Tana away. Hopefully no other enemies occupy that spot. I don't think they will. Smith is headed into Chapter 11 Eirika. He's gonna be doing 2 route maps straight in a row with all monsters, so not gonna be a whole lot to comment on there. Numbers is fighting Get with the Axe Reaper. Looks like it took him 3 uses, maybe 4 to take him down. Your Axe Reaper uses are a little precious, depending on how you approach the future chapters.
Yes, another stat booster to add to Smith's collection.
Yeah. I'm bad about using them.
I wish I had stat boosters at this point. And this is where I would give Garrick the Speed Wings. If I had them. Alright, you guys ready for Ranger Garrick?
What?
Too bad. You're not getting it.
If you had actually gone a Ranger, I was gonna... If I ever Mekkah, I would be livid if you clicked Ranger.
Silly and whimsical play always beats the logical play.
True.
Yeah, that's why Gambling Prince drafted the Gambling Prince.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I had Kyle go open that chest. Penalty be damned.
But yeah, this is what happens when the Eirika routers are just routing the Eirika router maps. Smithfield's in chapter 12, which I've frequently said is the worst chapter in the game. Garrick is fighting a boss that I think has a sword. I hope that he's using a sword himself as well. Garrick is really low. Hopefully he bought an elixir to heal him and gave it to him. I think he did. Ali, I mean, bottom right screen. Hopefully he doesn't move into the forest, because I don't know if he knows where all the enemies are, and if he bumps into an enemy at 8 HP, Garrick can just die, and this is something that he should be consciously avoiding.
That would have been... That would have also been really bad. Oh my goodness.
Numbers, top right screen is in the Phantom Ship. Very feared chapter for casual players, especially on hard mode. Not so bad in normal mode. Okay, I peeked that down at Ali's screen to bottom, and Tana just got another point of strength. This is getting insane. Ali out of chapter 11 now onto 12. But I think Ali's going to run into a problem where he's had too many units on the field, and he's going to have to think about what to do with them every single turn. And if he just benches Dazla, he won't have to think about it.
Ooh. Guess who didn't do items on the main carry? Ooh, guess who didn't buy lances?
And other than that, all you can do in this chapter is just really just route the enemies. Just one round kill whenever you can. I don't know where we're bringing a Slim Lance on Tana, but it looks like we're going to have to use it soon because we're out of Steel Lances, surely. Okay, so anyway, Smithfield's bottom left. That chapter, very fast for flyers if you just rescue Eirika and fly all the way around. If you don't know that clear, then what you're doing here is the next best thing, which is just approach the boss as soon as possible and kill him. I will say that if you ever feel like, oh shit, I'm in a tough spot, you're always allowed to ask for your coach call if you still have it. Don't hoard it until you beat the Demon King.
If you still have it, that's funny.
If you still have it, yeah. If you forgot your chest key, then I'm afraid you're out of luck at this point. But also, I have full faith, especially if you kill Forde.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
What's wrong?
I may need to go... Actually, no. I should have enough lances to get through the next couple chapters. But a monster spawned, behind me. So I can't go back easily. I can't believe Amelia being alive right now is actually potentially causing an issue. Okay, good. Sorry, Amelia. I tried.
Smith is prepping for a chapter. I'm not sure which one it is. It was just on screen, but I missed it. So we'll get back to that. Ali is in 14 at this point. I'm assuming Smith is I think he's in 15, because I think I saw him kill Carlisle earlier. 14 is a chapter that kind of just drags on, and then the Energy Ring and the Dragon Spear are going to be bigger. They're in the bottom left, and I think Ali has a plan for that. But for the most part, he's going to be focused on moving Eirika and I think Vanessa and maybe Saleh to the top right through that corridor to get to the boss. Smith is first in chapter 15. I don't think we've ever had a race that didn't have the person that went out of the desert first didn't win. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think if Smithfield makes it out of the desert first, then he is easily favored to win the rest of the race, because all the other chapters are faster than 15. The key to the desert is A, do not die, B, one-out enemies, just same as all the route maps, and C, make sure you just have units in the right positions to kill enemies if they do spawn, like the reinforcements that spawn on chapter 8. You can get a fast clear and beat it before the reinforcements show up, but it's kind of difficult. Ali making solid progress on 14, but does need Smith to make a mistake somewhere if he wants to come in first.
Wait, where is my door key? Oh my god, it's in Narnia. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I've not heard my coach in a while, and that's probably either a good thing or a very bad thing.
Don't you remember he said he had full faith in you?
He did. He also told me to kill Forde, and I haven't done that yet.
Chapter 15 is the perfect time to do it.
But I think he's already planning to send Tana at Kalak. And then Garrick down to Falter's army. And Saleh for the top right. Okay, Ali's doing the top right with Dazla, having Garrick go to the top left. I don't know if this Garrick can handle Kalak. I don't think he has the right weapons to do it. I know Saleh's also going there. Looks like he fielded Forde, hopefully with the intention of killing him off. I guess he's going to try to have Forde go for the Swift Souls. He's going to move at a brisk one-tile pace per turn. He might have to fight some unpromoted enemies on his way, but surely this Forde with an okay level up can maybe do it. Just kidding, of course he can't.
Way more because just Ephraim actually is just not doing very well, so I had to...
I'll be finding out that Kalak does indeed have hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's like, hold on a minute. Is this the same unit
Wait.
for all of my practice?
Wait, I can't just javelin this guy down? What the heck? Whoa.
Yes, Forde!
In one go. It's too bad he's going to die.
I definitely should have filled up his inventory.
Yeah, it looks like Ali's unit choices have somewhat poorly matched the enemies that they are fighting, and that's gonna make his Desert Clear, I think, significantly slower than Smith's, who's plunging through 16 right now.
Also, Kalak is a problem.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that myself.
Okay, well. Come on, man. There's no way.
Oh, Noel got deleted. That's unfortunate. Noel is not a unit you would reset for. Oh god, Garrick is doing horrible against Kalak. We might not even, like, at this point, just don't fight him at all, IMO. Like, just don't bother.
There's no way Forde lives because he gets a Slim Lance crit. What am I watching?
He's trying so hard to earn Mekkah's favor.
He really is. You gotta respect it.
Irredeemable.
And it's never gonna happen.
Despite going smoothly in both of my practice attempts, Chapter 15 posed a number of issues this time. As I'd never needed the Silver Sword in previous runs, I threw it away in Chapter 5X, forgetting that it was one of Garrick's best tools for fighting Kalak. And without the extra speedwing from Amelia, Garrick wasn't able to double him. This meant I had to have Tana fly over from the opposite side of the map to take down Kalak after Volta, and I had her use the Swift Soul I'd intended for Myr to do this as quickly as possible. But with Smithsville already finished with Chapter 16, it was looking like Chapter 20 would be my last opportunity to gain an advantage.
Ali killed Kalak at last, with Tana coming over there, so all of Garrick's efforts were in vain. He just couldn't make any progress. But yeah, Ali is going into 16. Map that I kind of warned him about how annoying it would be. We'll see how well he heeds my advice. Looks like he's leaving... Nope, not bringing Dawson. He's bringing Myr is the question, I guess. Smithville out of 17. Very short chapter, blink it and you'll miss it. I think he did boots with the Myr to get across as fast as possible. And now he has Fafnir, so Seth now has an S-rank weapon. He'll be an 18 for a little bit, because that's another route map that's kind of long, but it's the last long map in the game. Alright, Ali brought everyone up to the throne room, not willing to lose the good time he has got going. Kills a hero instead of the sage, but maybe someone else is in range of the sage.
Realizing I did not kill the right unit with Tana, but it's fine.
Is Eirika pure watered?
Eirika? No.
No.
Yeah, see, that was fine if I remembered to kill the sage, but I didn't.
Ali looks like he's behind Smithsville, but there's one copium for him, and that's that. Smithville doesn't have a flyer carry, so a couple chapters where that gives a huge advantage to have one, and one of them is Chapter 20. So until then, I think we'll see this lead persist. Gonna drop Myr there. Welcome for Silverlands, that's good. Doesn't take 2 hits, doesn't get crit. Does not get the Pierce. But Leona's solo, he'll probably attack first on enemy phase. That's what AI sometimes does, is it changes order. Yep, there we go. Very fast 17. So literally just 18 between Smithville and Ali. Unfortunately, our beloved Noel is not there. I told him Noel's pretty good in this chapter, because he can summon a unit, and then they can both kill an egg. Pretty cool. And this summon can also distract the Shadow Shot. Smith is out of 19. It went by so fast. He's in Chapter 20 now. His goal will probably be to rescue drop either Eirika or Seth to the final area. It's definitely a difficult chapter where you don't have a flyer carry, because usually your flyer carry can take care of Morphine at generally the final area. Cyrene just dies if you expose her to too many enemies, which is it's a very small amount. Cyrene dodging some enemies that are not highly relevant. I think you can get to the final area with Eirika. The question is, what do you do after? Let's see if we run out of Dragon Stones because of it. Ooh, Smith reset. That's big. Because now Ali's in 20. That chapter, I think, takes about 5 minutes, maybe? It's Tana in the lead. Brought enough units to punch through if something goes wrong, so I think he'll clear this chapter in about 3 turns. Smithville, bottom left, there's a new approach. Kill one random gargoyle from the bottom with Myr. Maybe Myr's gonna be the Morpha killer? Maybe I've been overlooking that possibility. He does have a pretty high HP and speed threshold to do it, but it's possible. Yeah, Dragonstone uses are a real concern if you have to improvise 20. Like, if you have to use Myr to clear paths and, like, enemy phase a bunch of guys, that can run down your Dragonstone real fast. Okay, Smithville bottom left has cleared out the bottom part for Cyrene, and now next turn can drop Eirika in the final area if he wants to. Which is good, because Ali is right there, about to disrespectfully drop the Seeklinde into convoy by accident. That's fine.
Whoops. No, I need that. Give me that back.
Does Ali have a clear ready for 20? It's significantly easier for him because he has Tana. Okay, Myrrh on Smithville is fighting Morva, hits him, didn't crit. I don't think a crit would save any turns here. We would allow Myrrh to do something else this turn. Ali has a significantly lower level Myrrh, which likely means more Dragonstone uses left, but also means that Myrrh is maybe further away from killing Leon fast. Smith has a capped Myrrh, meanwhile, with 13 Dragonstones left. That's not a lot. Ali is right behind, though. Tana's right in front of Morva. If he pierces here, even if he doesn't pierce, he's basically out as long as everyone survives, and there's not enough people blocking the way. So it's just down to like who can execute the final chapter better. And like both Ali and Smith are like on track for a sub 3 for sure. Ooh, Ali straight up flying across the gap turn 1. In a reinforcement zone, I think. With 2 flyers available though. Looks like he really has a plan. I did tell him to like think about where to put units. Bring Saleh all across the gap. Interesting. Smithfield worked his way past the left Draco zombie. So they're basically on par again. Smith is getting stuck behind the guys a bit. Not too bad, because a lot of them are still attacking Seth. But Ali has removed the blockade. Smithville removed the blockade as well. Seth is under heavy fire, but nothing he can't survive. I think Seth definitely has what it takes to survive Leon. I think we've seen some that don't. Okay, I think the path is going to be open for Ali as well, but I don't think his Myrrh can attack. Oh, Myrrh just took a big hit from a Draco zombie.
No!
Oh, no.
How does that happen?
That's a problem. Ooh, that's a problem. Okay.
Oh, and Ali has to grapple with the Draco zombie. That's also a problem, for sure.
Well, I mean, this isn't really a bad thing. Oh, wait, never mind, she can attack again. Sounds fun.
She got poisoned, so the stun wore off.
That's funny. I love when status conditions override other status conditions.
Oh, the poison on stone? Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna mute so I can watch them fight. Okay, another Draco zombie got pulled over. Smithfield's at the Demon King, hitting him for 20 on turn 1. I don't think Seth usually doubles, but his might. Myrrh about to get stone on Ali's screen. Missed. Seth takes 2 Demon King hits to die. Doubles with the Vidofnir.
As soon as the HP hits 0, I hit finish?
Yes. Well done.
GG.
Nice.
So close. Oh, what's he doing? He has an attack. He could just sit there in front of Leon and sit there in Elixir.
Oh, she doesn't have Kanto! Well,
Yeah, she don't have Kanto.
yeah. It's fine, we spent enough turns on this chapter anyway. What's one more?
Final one, am I right?
I think it was fine if I mispositioned Tana on one turn and pulled the Draco zombie, and as soon as that happened, it just became so much more complicated.
Don't worry about it. The Leon
Nice.
crit.
That's so good. Pun.
Back.
Oh,
'cause-
oh, time! Time!
yeah.
Let's go!
Oh,
GG.
Well played.
GG.
I'm so gutted, Kyle, man.
Kyle really got you this race.
Yeah.
Steve,
No,
this was the seed that I planted so long ago, forcing you to take Forde, knowing that you would subconsciously think Mekkah doesn't want me to use Forde, and use Kyle.
No, see, ironically, I had two opportunities to win that race. One was remembering the chest key in chapter 3. The second was not using Kyle. If I do either of those, I think I've got it.
Yeah.
GG though. That was really fun.
You're still
You are behind
second
Cole's time by
place.
like 24 seconds as well.
Wait.
Like, insane.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Like, I think I was coming into this thinking if I get sub 3 hour, I'm really happy. And I definitely got sub 3 hour, even with the penalties.
I'm proud of you. That final one was rough, though. Damn.
Yeah, I know, man. I think, again, if not for Tanner pulling the Draco Zombie, I think it was fine. Despite my best efforts, I finished in second, with a final time of 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 29 seconds. Among all of the beginners across 2 races, this puts me in 3rd place overall. Though, if not for the penalty in Chapter 8, I'd have finished with the best time. And even though I wasn't able to win, this race only spurred my interest in draft racing even more. While the big problems were the penalty in Chapter 8, and my strategy for the final chapter, there were plenty of other things I spotted that I could optimize were I to run it back, like acquiring the extra stat boosters in Chapter 9, or having a better solution to Kalak in Chapter 15. But even if I had lost in this race, I had a second chance to take home the victory. With my time, I'd secured a spot in one final race, featuring the best performers among the beginner racers. One last chance to right the wrongs of my first race, to face off against the other trainee mecha coached alongside me, and to prove that I've got what it takes to win it all. And if you're watching this video around the time of its release, you can watch that race live this weekend on Saturday 25th of April on Mekkah's channel. Needless to say, you won't want to miss it. Thanks again to everyone who was involved in this event. Smithsville, Numbers, and Gambling Prince, who were excellent rivals and opponents, the other coaches who lent their time, and of course my own coach, Mekkah. And if you're interested in learning more about Fire Emblem Draft Racing yourself, be sure to check out the Castle Discord, where this event and many others are organised. It's a great place for learning the ropes. And truly, if I learned one thing during this experience, it's that grudges against a specific cavalier from Fire Emblem 8 are completely justified. And let's just say, I'm not talking about Forde. You'll pay for this, Kyle.